Friend of me, any me. All these niggas just wanna be a mini me. All these niggas just wanna be a mini me. All these niggas just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me, friend of me.
All right, let's get into this review of the Sonar Genesis. This has been an absolute lifesaver for me in my pond. I have yet to find what it doesn't kill as far as algae and floating vegetation. After trying diquat, copper sulfate, putting copper sulfate in a bag and rolling around my pond, trying to get the copper sulfate in the water column, trying to kill the duckweed. That didn't work, didn't kill the watermill, so I moved to diquat. I put diquat in a sprayer. I was spraying it. It was killing it, but you have to do it in sections. The problem was that there was such thick vegetation on top of my pond that once it started turning brown, we ended up having a big thunderstorm. Even with the aeration, that water pushed all that diquat and dead vegetation down, and I had a huge fish kill. So I was holding off on the Sonar. One, because you can't just find it at the Royal King. You have to order it. I had read about it. I wasn't 100% sold on it. So if you're having issues with duckweed, watermill, red sylvania, aquatic vegetation growing from the bottom 4 feet to the bottom because you have a ton of muck on the bottom of your pond, I would suggest Sonar for you. If you're wondering why you don't just have the pond dug out, I had mine quoted, it was $60,000. And that wasn't even for them to take the muck with them. That was to pile it in the back of the property. We had issues on how we would get the equipment through, whether they'd take down the fence and drive over my leach lines, which isn't going to work, or they could come up my driveway, but they would end up busting it due to the weight. So that wasn't going to work either. Our pond is maybe 10 feet from our back door, so it's a centerpiece of our backyard. It looked like a cesspool when we got it. When we bought the property, it was winter, it was perfectly clear, it was gorgeous. As soon as spring popped up, bam, there's a green carpet of nothing but filth. That filth did nothing but bring in more mosquitoes, more bugs, made the back patio absolutely unusable. So we go through all the processes of herbicide. So I finally ordered the Sonar Genesis. The pros to Sonar Genesis is, one, your livestock, your domestic animals, they can still drink it. They can still drink the water. It has no harmful chemicals that's going to affect any sort of life form. It doesn't kill fish. You can still swim in the pond just fine. It says that it's good for a year. That's bullshit. This is good for about 3 months tops. Now, we're in Ohio. So what I do is in April, I will dye my pond dark, dark, dark. I'll go all black. We're getting so much rain, but the weather's starting to warm up. That's going to really push back the growth of that vegetation. In mid-June-ish, I will put 1/2 gallon of Sonar Genesis in the pond. If you talk to the pond guys, if you talk to your local pond management guy, they're going to say that's an awful idea. Because due to the rain, you're going to leak it out, it's going to cost you more money. That's also bullshit. It will leak out, and you will have to reapply. But by putting it in June, in that rainy season, it really kicks back the growth that you get. I mean, from April, May, I put this in May. April, May, June to July, I put in 1/2 gallon, minimal to no growth. Now I will put in another 1/2 gallon July 1st. That's going to last me at least 3 months, if not 4. So that'll get me through July, August, September. Come October, it starts getting cold, the pond stays clear on its own. So these Sonar Genesis costs if you look them up on Amazon, they're about 400 bucks. You can get them from some kind of forestry company for $3.20, another $20 shipping, $3.50. Still save you $50 a jug. It takes them about 2 weeks to get here, but they work great. And if you run the numbers, the first year I ended up using 4 of these just to get my pond back under control. So for $1,600 is what it cost me. The first year I started using this product, but I got my pond completely under control. Now I'm down to $800 a year to keep my pond completely under control. I'm 37. If it's $60,000 to dig out my pond and still leave me with the muck, I've got at least 60 years of using this with a clear pond. So there's no forward cost. This is just an annual maintenance routine. I'll pour this in the pond. It'll come in as a milky white substance. It'll stay in the water column 3 months. I can wait 5 days, and then I'll apply my pond dye. And then the pond dye doesn't affect it. They work together. The pond looks gorgeous. Now, ours is not natural spring fed. That does matter. If you have a natural spring fed, you probably don't have as many algae problems because you're not going to have the muck build up. You're constantly getting fresh water. But the guy beside us, he has a horse. The drain that goes into our pond goes to the horse pasture. There's already muck when we got here, and there's no natural water source. So as far as the review of the Sonar, this by far is the best purchase that I have made. Especially, like I said, the diquat, I had the giant fish kill. The copper sulfate was manually exhausting and it didn't work. We got the nets with the floats so you could throw it out and you could rake in the duckweed. Well, that ain't worth a fuck either, for real. This Sonar, it's the truth. What I should have added about this Sonar is if there's a con to it, it takes longer to be effective. You're probably not going to see results until week 3. Any floating algae will start to turn white. The way it works is since it stays in the water column, it destroys it from the root instead of killing it from the top. So you don't get that glyphosate effect where it turns brown, but it's not dead yet. So it will take about 3 weeks to work, but once it works, it's there. That algae is going to stay floating at the top that's white until you get a rain and knocks it down. The pond absorbs it, and then you don't have another issue.